Hi again, third grade. So let's remember the story I read you from yesterday, and it was the story of Abram journeying to the land of Canaan, and there he found beautiful fields and plentiful gardens, and the trees with good fruits, and he brought with him his followers, his servants, his wife, and his brother's son Lot. And one night when he was sleeping in his tent, he heard this sound, and he crawled out of his tent and he went and looked up at the sky, and he saw all the stars in the night sky. And I can only imagine how bright it must have been in the desert where there's no other light but the night sky. All the fires had gone out probably, and there it was, all the bright shining stars at night. So he saw this beautiful sight, and he heard a voice. And the voice told him that he was to be the father of a great people, a great many people, and they would be like the stars in the sky, and they would be plentiful and well organized and ordered. So after that experience, he was renamed from Abram to Abraham. That was one part of the story that was pretty significant. And then the next part was that there was an argument between Abraham's followers and servants and Lot's, because it turned out Lot's servants, they liked to lay about while their sheep and their cattle were grazing, and they didn't really help their sheep and their cattle stay in one particular area and let the other people's sheep and cattle enjoy their areas. So they weren't really respecting the space of everyone else. They were kind of letting their sheep and cattle go wherever. And there was fights happening. So Abraham stepped up and asked Lot to move to a new land where he could have more space to roam his sheep and cattle. And that was a pretty significant part of the story too. So you could have sheep and cattle and two men arguing. That could be one of your drawings. The night sky with all the stars, or arguing men, Lot and his servants, as well as the servants of Abraham who were getting frustrated. Those were the arguers. And then there was another part of the story, was that Abraham decided that he needed to continue to plant trees. And I think that this is the best part of the story, because this is a really good time for us to respect trees. So having a tree story is very good. And this tree story was pretty interesting. For one of the trees that he was tending to, taking care of it and making sure that the branches were spreading out and that they were getting the light they needed, and he could hear the wind carrying their song of the leaves over the earth. And he was very dedicated to the trees. And he noticed that in one tree that had been planted there for many years, there was an angel-like figure in it. And he noticed that it reacted to people in certain ways. It would draw away from some people, or it would kind of celebrate with its leaves and its limbs when some people came by. And it helped him understand people, the way that it reacted. Sometimes it even reacted to untruths, to a man he believed he was lying. And this tree had a reaction to help Abraham believe that the man was lying, and he got very angry. And it would be nice maybe to draw this tree that had this spirit in it, that was able to read the intentions of other people besides Abraham and help Abraham to see them. So that's the drawing that I'm going to make for this particular review. But you can choose, because if you listen to the story, maybe something else about the story inspired you, and you would like to draw a small remembrance of what inspired you from that story. So the next thing we're going to do is find our green books and our crayons, and we are going to do a drawing from Abraham and in the land of Canaan. Okay.